Hello everyone, welcome to the next learn something about function and also the mechanism of function. In this video, we'll use another keyword that is return. What is the need of return in function? Okay, so let us understand in a real-time example. Whenever you are putting any kind of online order or you are ordering something for a particular task, you are expecting a result in return. Like you are accessing Google, you are sending some request, the processing is going on, and finally you are getting one response from Google. So that means whenever you are making a call in a particular function, you may expect that that function body will return a particular result to you. Then how it will automatically come to the calling function? By using the return keyword. Okay. So by using this particular thing in our mind, let us start our video. Okay. Now, why actually return keyword is used? Return keyword is used for two different purposes. One, if you want to end a particular function execution, then you can use the keyword return, and it will be written in small letter. Okay. So wherever return will be encountered, the rest of the code execution will be stopped and the program execution will end from that particular place. That is first thing. Second thing, if you want to return a value, okay, so that means whenever you are calling a particular function, the function is executed with some task, and finally that function body will return a value. So how they will return a value? By using the return keyword. Okay, so that means this return keyword is used for two different important purposes. One, whenever you want to end the execution, function execution. Second, whenever you want to return a value from the function. Okay, now this is the first case whenever you are returning a particular value. Okay, now let us check how actually we use. This is known as your calling function. Already we have studied in the previous video. We are making a call, so the control will come outside the main function. It will come to the body wherever the match will be done between the function names. Okay, and from there you are using the keyword return. Return what? You are returning something. Okay, now here the best part is whatever the value you are returning, the same data type you have to write down here. Okay, once again, whatever the value you are returning means the data type of result you have to write down here. So data type, then the function name. Okay, and whatever the value you are returning to that particular function call. Okay, now function call cannot store the value. It will assign the value to another variable. Okay, this is what the use of my return. So you have to write the function prototype also like that. Whatever the function name you have written here, you have to write down here. Whatever the data type you have written, you have to write down here. This is what the syntax. Let us see the example. Okay. So the execution will start from the main function. You are declaring a variable number equal to fun. So that means you have made a call to the fun function. The control will come to the body of the fun function. It will enter. It is writing return 10. Okay, so what is the data type of 10? The data type of 10 is integer. That's why here we have written integer. So the return type of function fun is integer. Okay, so 10 will be returned to whom? It will be returned to the calling function. Now calling function cannot store the value. It will assign the value to another variable. So now number will have value 10. So whenever you are writing the function prototype, you will write down the same name here. You have to write down the same data type here. Okay. This is one example of return statement, how you are making a call to the function and you are returning some result. Okay. One more example we will discuss where we'll see something difference. So what difference? Now in the previous example, whenever you are calling the function, you are not passing any value. But here there is a provision also, you can pass any number of values. And whenever in calling function, just important thing you have to remember, whenever you are calling a function, whatever the values you are passing, those are known as your actual argument. Okay. So now the function call will come, the body will execute. Now these actual arguments will come and will be copied to another argument known as a formal argument. Okay. So the argument whatever you are using in calling function are known as actual argument, and the same value you are copying in called function, and those are known as the formal arguments. Okay. Now whenever you are returning the result, the same data type you have to write down. The value will come to the calling function, and finally it will be assigned to value and it will be stored. Accordingly, you have to write down the function prototype. The function name you have to write down, whatever the value you are returning the data type, and also you have to mention the data type of the actual argument what you are passing. Okay. So based on this particular syntax, let us understand the example. So in this example, what we have done, we have declared a number 1 and assigned the value 5, number 2 as 6. Okay. So you are passing the value 5 and 6 while calling the function fun. Okay. Now, what is happening in the background? Number 1 is at memory location 1000. Number 2 is at memory location 2000. Okay. Just assume it. So inside number 1, you have kept 5. Inside number 2, you have kept 6. So whenever you are passing 5 and 6, because these are the actual arguments, this value will be copied to the formal arguments. Means there will be two more variables, number 1 and number 2. Those may be present in different locations, 4000 and 5000. But what happened? This 5 being copied here, 6 will be copied to number 2. Okay. So 5 will come here and 6 will come here. Okay. Now, inside the function body, whenever you have made the function call, values are copied, the actual arguments are copied to formal argument, and now the body of function will execute. So what you are doing, you are adding number 1 and number 2. What is number 1 and number 2? Now 5 and 6. The result will be 11. You are returning 11. Okay. So the same data type you have written here. So 11 will be returned to the calling function, this particular function. It will assign the result to num. Now num will become 11. So whenever you are writing the function prototype, you check the same name you have written, one, the same data type of the return statement you have written. Also, how many arguments you have passed? I have passed two values, number 1 and number 2. So you have to mention that many number of data type. What type of value you have passed? Now I have passed two integer values. Okay, and it will end with a semicolon. Okay, so there are two different cases how you can pass the arguments, and also if you are not passing argument, how you are using the return statement. Okay, so let us understand this particular concept through one program. Okay, so you have to write addition of two numbers using function. Okay, so the best part of writing function program is, first of all, you have to decide what are my inputs. So in my program of addition of two numbers, what is my input? Now my input is number 1 and number 2. Okay, and what is my output? Now my result. Okay, so I'll take the input. So two values you have taken input. Done. And then you are calling the one function add. Okay, so we'll write down the program without using return statement, and again we'll write down the same program by using return statement. Now here you are not returning any value. If you are not returning any value, you have to specify the data type as void. Okay, and you have to write down the same function name, and to cache the values, to catch the values of this number 1, I am declaring another variable number 1. This number 2, I am storing the value in number 2. Okay. Now what I am doing here, I am adding these two values and storing in the variable sum. So sum equal to number 1 plus number 2. Okay. Then you have to print okay. Then you have to specify the prototype. What is the prototype? First of all, the return type of add is void. And how many values I have passed? I have passed two values. So integer, comma integer. Okay. Simple. What we have done? First, you decide what is my input. Now my input are two numbers. So I have taken input. Then I have passed those values inside the function. That means I am giving the instruction. I am calling add. You do one thing. You take my two numbers, number 1, number 2, and you do the addition. So what outside you have written, you have defined the function add, where you are catching these two values. Whenever you will catch means you have to declare once again, and you have to write down the variable name. So these are known as your actual arguments. These are known as your formal arguments. Okay. So the value of actual argument will be copied to formal argument. After that, I am adding these values, storing in the sum variable and printing. So here we have not used the concept of return statement. Here, let us see how it is executing. No error is there. So 35 and 75. The addition of two numbers are 110. Okay. So without using return statement, we have written the program. So let us rewrite the same program by using return statement. Return statement means what? Now you have to get the result here in the main function. Wherever you have made the call, there itself you need the result. Then what will happen? That means the purpose of add is I am calling you, you do my operation and give me the result. Okay. That means I'll not print the result here. Okay. I'll return the result. So what is my result here? Now sum has kept my result. Okay. So here in void, you have to specify the data type. What is the data type you are returning? Now you are returning the value sum, which is of data type int. Clear? So here also you have to write, in place of void, you have to write int. Okay. So that means prototype always provides the return type, what data type you are returning, the function name, and what are the different types of values you are returning, that data type you have to write out. Simple. So once the result will be returned to this res, I can print here. What I'll print? The addition of number is res, because the value is present in res. Okay. So let us check. Done. So let us compile and execute. So 44, 66, 110. Understood. So that means we can write the program by using return statement. If you want the result in the calling function itself, you can write the program without using return if you need to print the result in the called function. Okay. This is what the difference between your return statement and without return statement. Okay. So through this video, what we have learned the concept of return keyword, how it is being used in function, where you have to change the data type on the basis of the return of the value. Okay. So through example also you have studied. So try to learn by yourself, understand it, and practice some more questions. In the next video, we will write some more programs by using function. Okay. So thank you everyone for watching this video.